Okay, now Loris, it's time for us to learn a little bit more about you. Now, folks at home, if you want to learn more about Hey Qween, you got to follow us on all your social media at Hey Qween TV on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Black People Meet, Farmers Only, Witches Brew, and all the rest. Witches Brew, Lady Red, that's where witches for witches.
Yes, witches.
Now, Loris, hold my hand. We're gonna go back in the time machine. Whoa, look at this. Where are we? We are in Switzerland. There's little Loris running the hilltops. Why does she look so crazy? She's gone through her mom's closet and she's dressed like a beautiful Swiss lady.
That's exactly where I found my first pair of heels.
Right.
Was my mom's closet, as one does. Right,
yeah.
Right.
Now, you've said that you used to watch your mom practice burlesque, and that must have been a very early inspiration for you to become the showgirl you are today.
She would come and she would perform Cowboy by Kid Rock with a cowboy hat, and she would come out here in these platform heels and she would do it for us, and she would kick down the piano bench and really extra. And my brother and I always thought it was because she was going to go do those numbers live at the bar. But she never did it. So I guess my brother and I are her creative expression taking flight and finally finding its wings, doing its thing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
You didn't realize it was for an audience of 2.
One, if it's the trade that comes over on Saturday nights.
So you were born in Switzerland. Your mom is Middle Eastern and Mediterranean, and your dad is Swiss.
Yes.
And you lived there for how long? When did you move to the States? When you were 8?
So, yes, we lived and I was born and raised in Switzerland, actually, and we just watched a whole bunch of Sesame Street to learn English. That was our main avenue to trying to be successful Americans. And when I was 8, yes, my mom decided to move to Carlsbad, New Mexico, because it was the cheapest place for her to go to nursing school. So I'm a first-generation immigrant, and it was pretty crazy. Like, it was really difficult because we moved to such a place that was so conservative. I don't know if you're familiar with, New Mexico generally is very liberal, but Carlsbad is so close to the border of Texas that it's super, super conservative.
Right.
And so growing up as like a foreigner who doesn't know English in a town where that's like the main thing, it was kind of difficult. It was taxing. So my brother and I kept pushing her, let's go somewhere bigger, let's do something else. And when she finally graduated from nursing school, moved to Santa Fe, which was a small upgrade,
right,
but bigger, much more comfortable place for a queer teen to live out their fantasies.
Well, when you got here to LA, it was not easy. It took you a while to get on your feet. You said that you had to turn to sex work, to sleeping in your car. Tell me about that time of your life.
Well, this is where, Mom, you turn off the audio. And yes, indeed. When I moved to LA, I was not able to pay my first month, my last month, and my deposit, which is what you have to pay in a big city if you don't have good credit. So yeah, that's exactly what I did. I would go in drag to these clubs and see what jobs I could get, because in my mind I was like, okay, if I go and I look good, they're gonna book me for drag gigs. And I would meet these guys that were like, oh, would you sit on me for an hour and I'll give you $100? And I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean sit on you? Sit on your face? And they were like, no, just I'm gonna arch my back and you just sit on me for $100. So I was like, are you kidding me? Of course, but make it 200. And so then I realized that you could really easily get money from asking, men with money to collaborate with you.
Oh, collaborate.
In ways that you're comfortable with. That's the thing. For me, it was always ways that I was comfortable with. It was inflicting physical pain.
Oh, so you were a sort of a femdom.
Yes. I would say femdom is the word for it.
Okay.
Yeah. When I first moved here, it was a dungeon called Sanctuary. And it is in Inglewood in Los Angeles. And the mistress kind of took me under her wing, and she was like, hey, like, it seems like you're really good at what you're doing. You just need somebody to show you what exactly it is that you're doing, because I really didn't know. And so, yeah, I mean, I have no shame in saying that sex work is what helped me get on my feet in Los Angeles. It helped me to figure out who I was going to be as a drag queen, who I was going to be as a person here. And so, yeah, whenever I hear people speak ill about sex work, or when I hear people in my community talking down on queer sex workers, I always make it a point to be like, hey, you don't know where that person came from, you know, because none of us do.
Yeah.
A lot of us came from sex work, and that's what has gotten a lot of us to where we are today. I could name a lot of names right now, but I'm not going to.
So doing that must have sort of put you on the road. First of all, you had a little cash. You were feeling your dominatrix fantasy. And I'm sure all of that started to influence what ended up becoming your drag career. When did the drag career officially begin?
Well, I would say it is kind of directly tied to the Boulet Brothers in a weird way. Because when I first came out to Los Angeles, it was to visit DragCon. And when I did that, I met the Boulet Brothers. And they took me aside and they were like, hey girl, if you ever come to LA, we'll book you at our show, Queen Kong. And it was, I mean, at the time, I assume it was because they didn't know that I lived in LA, or they knew that I didn't live in LA, so they were like, oh, we can invite this girl. But for me, that was genuine motivation and inspiration. And it really drove me to, again, get that second job in Albuquerque and push myself to try to get out there. And when I did, oh God, okay, nobody is allowed to use this and nobody is allowed to try this strategy at all. But when I moved to Los Angeles, I straight up broke into the backstage of Precinct and dug my way with my claws into the backstage, into the freezer. And when the Boulets came in, they were like, who the hell are you? What the hell are you doing back here? And I pull out my phone and I go, no. We took these photos and you told me that you would book me.
Wow.
I dead ass did that. I was that girl. And you know what? It worked. Because 2 days later on Facebook, they messaged me and they were like, we appreciate your balls for coming back there and doing that. And we would love to have you at Queen Kong. And the rest, as they say, is history. That's what my performance career really began as.
Right.
Being that obnoxious intruder.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, sweetie.
Yeah, you know.
And it worked.
Again, don't try this at home, kids.
Right.
Do not. The Boulet
Brothers are going to be calling your ass.
They're going to be calling you. They will not approve. So let's not take my example. It worked one time, like the lottery, and that's it.
Loris, you're so great with makeup. We've created a game just for you. This is a little game called Makeup or Breakup. We're going to show you some looks that the Drag Race girls have presented on their faces, and you're going to tell us whether it's a makeup, which means you wouldn't change a thing, or a breakup, meaning it could use a little help. Ooh. And you'll tell us what you might have done to Loris it up to help them with the look. How does that sound? All right,
that sounds excellent.
Okay.
This is my type of game.
Yes, honey, you're a makeup expert. We want to get your expertise on record.
Let's get
All right, let's take a look at the first look. That's Asia O'Hara's mermaid mask.
Asia O'Hara, wow. Well, I will say that it was one of the cooler mermaid looks from that season. I thought she was so cool. I felt like it looked like a mask. Well, I would break up the prosthetic here between her lips because it seems like she can't really open her mouth. I love the prosthetic. I just wish that we could see her expression. So I would break up the prosthetic here and here to give it more expressiveness and fun because the colors were great. The blending was great. I just wanted to see a little bit more fluidity in the face. I wanted her face to move more. So, I mean, I'm gonna give her a makeup.
Okay.
Because she put on all the makeup.
She did.
put on
I like that
all the
look.
makeup
I'm a fan of that one.
Asia.
Lady Red, makeup or breakup?
I'm gonna break up with that one.
Okay.
She doesn't
All
like
right.
fish.
Next up is another queen known for her looks.
Kimberly!
Kimchi. Now that's also playing with perspective. Makeup or breakup, Loris?
Well, Kimberly Chi. Kimberly Chi is considered to be an icon of makeup. So this is gonna get some mixed reviews. I think it was a little lazy for her to do black and white rather than approach the grayscale challenge as it was put out there.
Oh.
I wish that we could have seen a full grayscale look from Kimchi. With that being said, her creativity is insane. And I know that she had like 30 minutes to do it. And I mean, if I could do anything that great in 30 minutes, I would be very impressed with myself. So good for her. It's a makeup. It's a makeup.
Lady Red?
Thumbs up.
Oh, okay. Next look, please. Acid Betty, Tropical Fish Realness.
Acid Betty. All right. So it seems like she ran out of time to draw on a cut crease, so she glued on some paper on her face to mimic eyelashes. But I mean, one thing we can say about Acid Betty is that her hair and her skin always look on point. She's giving me very like old Greg realness.
Old Greg realness is where we will leave it. We have time for one more look.
Okay.
Makeup or breakup? Pearl.
Oh God. Can it be make out or make up?
It could be.
Oh man. Well, I mean, I think that this look was so much more creative than all the other bearded looks, but if we look at it in comparison to what she's been doing nowadays, it's a breakup.
Makeup or breakup? Nina Bonina Brown's
Yeah.
famous peach.
Bonina, Banana, Fofana, Osama bin Laden Brown. Are we allowed to say that on air?
Yes, well, you just did.
Well, she blocked me on Instagram, so break up.
Oh, what happened?
Break up. I don't know. You know, she's one of those people that, like, you just don't know. Like, I commented on one of her photos, and I was like, oh, wow, I like that you're using this nose contour. And the next day, I was blocked. Who would know what had happened?
All right, the mystery of the block. We'll never know till Nina comes on and maybe we'll ask her about it.